And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten of all his glory, right? All his wealth. And 2 says, And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. It was not the same way, y'all. Things changed, right? After 14 some odd years living with this man, trying to wife his 2 daughters, Rachel and Leah. Verse 3 says, And the Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. Praise God, right? 4, And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. 5, And said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not toward me as before. Oh, he was loving me before. Now he see how well I amassed all this wealth, got his 2 daughters, all his flock, all his cattle, and everything else. He ain't feeling me the same, is he? He said, But the God of my father hath been with me. No matter how bad your father tried to diss me or mistreat me, God has been with me. Verse 6 says, And you know that with all my power I have served your father. Verse 7, And your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. See, your dad was trying to do me in, but thanks be to God, right, y'all? Because I know, like Jacob, we've all been in situations. We've all been in situations, right? Welcome to the Morning Read, episode 323, y'all. And you know you're watching ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ear stays. Shalom, everybody, and God bless you, and welcome to the Morning Read, episode 323, where we learn Laban has a new attitude toward Jacob. It's not the same as it was when they first met. And I told y'all Laban was up to no good like 2 or 3 reads ago, right? And with that being said, shalom, everybody. Welcome, world. How are you? And, yeah, you know some people like to get up and read people to filth. Well, we like to get up and read people to life. That's life more abundantly. Because we know that the Messiah of the Hebrew tongue is the way, the truth, and the life. And except a man or the church or Christianity come through him, they cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So Christians have a lot of explaining to do. According to John 10, chapter 10, verse 7 through 18, you're like a thief in the night if you don't do it according to John 14 and 6. Now, with that being said, disclaimer, we know some people are physically blind, spiritually deaf, physically deaf, hurt, church hurt, abused, walked away from God, mad, angry, unforgiveness. There's the lost soul, the demonic soul, the wicked soul, the evil soul. And then there's you and I, who can benefit from these morning reads. Because I've been telling y'all over here basically that everything we read in this Bible, we could see it happen in the world today. And you can't deny that. If you agree, please comment down below. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you're returning, please subscribe. Refresh your notification bells. Hit the post notification and all that so you know when I go live, upload, and or premiere. You're watching ReligionWinked TV and my spiritual ear. Dang, I missed it by 3 seconds. Stay! All right, so shalom, everybody. Let's get into this morning read. And I do appreciate you guys letting me come on according to my personal schedule and do this morning read. Normally it is in the morning as early as I can get it done. But baby, when I tell you when it's 7 degrees outside, honey, ain't no rush to get from under them covers. And with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and learn how Laban has a new attitude toward Jacob. Let's learn how a man could basically tell you, hey, if you work for me for 7 years, I'll give you this daughter here to marry. 7 years come up, he bring out a different daughter. Another 7 years down, you get the daughter you originally wanted 14 years ago. Now, anybody know when someone has a Israelite, an Aboriginal, indigenous, Indian, I don't care what y'all say, black people, we are Indians as well. The whole 12 tribes are indigenous, Aboriginal, Indians. We just got stripped of everything for the most part here in America. But you are. I don't like when I see black people say, oh, they're the Indians. No, we are the Indians of the world. We are the children. Yeah, you remember they made that song, We Are the Children, okay? Now, with that being said, you got a man. And anytime we're in captivity of some sort, because y'all heard Jacob say, and we're going to read it again, he changed my wages 10 times. He lied to me and told me if I worked for him 7 years, a period of 7 years, I'll have Rachel. 7 years came up, he gave me Leah. I worked another 7 years to Rachel, and he finally gave me Rachel. But anybody that know, when you're in captivity of the oppressor or the enemies of God, or people just periodly trying to do you dirty, there's a growth that we go through. There's a process that we go through, and it's called replenishing, multiplying, and being fruitful in the land, right? And that's what happened with Jacob. No matter how many times Laban changed his wages, no matter how many times Laban lied, no matter how many times Laban deceived Jacob, who, by the way, didn't have much discernment in his story, right? But God was with him. Thank God. Thank God. Sometimes we don't have the discernment, but God will still be there with us, right? Amen to that. So be it to that, right? So Laban, he realizes no matter how much Laban deceived him, God was with him. And Jacob, just like, oh, baby, when they get ready to go down to Egypt, he came out with more than Laban had. Remember yesterday I was reading to you how they separated this goat, that goat, the blemished goat, the spotted goat, the he lamb, the she lamb, this cattle, that cattle. And for some reason, baby, Jacob told him, I think he said something like, you know what, I'm going to take all the blemished spotted ones. And they was pretty much more than the ones that wasn't. And when Laban looked up, he basically said, dang, you took all my father's wealth. You took everything we had. Do you reckon that's why the world is so against black folks and non-black people right now? Because of these stories we read in the Bible, how every time one of our ancestors went amongst them as a slave or in captivity, we come out greater than we went in and greater than them. How come it's not like that in America? What are we settling for? Why have we compromised with the devil? I just want to know. So basically, let's get into chapter 31, verse 1. Let's read. And he heard the words of Laban's son saying, Jacob have taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. Has he gotten all this wealth, translated, right? Because glory can be wealth. Glory can be promotion. Glory can be a decent life, a life with less struggles. That glory can be anything you need glory to be for you in these last days, okay? But most people relate earthly glory, right, or some sort of wealth. So too, and Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban. And let me just say, the church is the biggest promoter of mammon in the world, and all that is glorious in the church is not of God. So don't look at all the money the church has raised and think they sown a seed into the Lord and reap this kind of harvest. No, baby, the devil gives out the same kind of blessings, if not better ones, to keep you from the Lord. Point blank, period. And y'all out here thinking you serving God. What God? God is just the title, God. Flip the letters around backwards is dog. You better get to know your God's name so you're not just out here calling them titles anymore, okay? Because some titles are not befitting for some gods, especially I am that I am. All right? The Most High God. So, let's just call him the Most High, right? We could really do away. If you know who your God is, you no longer have to say God, God, God. Call your God by his name, or do you not know? You just been taught your God is God, right? God, listen, let me tell you something. Let's do this. We had Yahweh, right? There was a split. 12 tribes went scattering around the world. Rome came in, seized everything, burned down everything. You had some people calling their God Ah. It rhymes with Yah, right? Ah. Even though they say La, Ah, Yah. You move over to Egypt. You got some people calling their God Ra, right? Yah, Ah, Ra. Move over to the West Indies. You got them calling their God Jah, right? Yah, Ah, Ra, Jah. You get over here in America, they say, oh, hell no, your God name is God, okay? But it still rhymes with Yah a little bit, right? So I'm saying, we all know that God is God. But God has a name, he told Moses, and I suggest you start calling him by his name. All right? Now, the world will tell you he has all different kinds of names. His name is not Yeezy. He is not married to Kim Kardashian, dang it. No, he is not. He is not married to Beyonce, okay? And his name ain't Jehovah, all right? Kingdom of Jehovah and the witnesses thereof. Y'all can call him whatever y'all want to call him, but I'm telling you, if you're any relations to Jacob and the 12 tribes, your God's name is I am that I am. Point blank, period. So he goes on to say in verse 2, and Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. It wasn't the same, y'all. It was not the same. 3, and the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. 4, and Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, because he was working in Laban's camp. And Jacob, if you ain't want his daughters so dang on bad, you wouldn't have suffered this at the hands of Laban, okay? So 5, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance. That is, it is not towards me as before. But the God of my father hath been with me. All the abuse, all the persecution, all the oppression, all the enslavement and slavery, God is still with me. I don't know about your father Laban, but I know he's with me, okay? And if y'all gonna be my wives, I'm telling you right now, I'm about to leave your father's house and shake the dust off of my feet. You either coming with me or you're staying here. Now, he didn't say all that. That was just me. I'm sorry, y'all, but I had to put my little 2 cents in there because that's what he needed to tell him. Hell, your dad done deceived me. He done lied to me. He's a criminal. And he done kept me here hostage longer than I intended to be. But if it wasn't for my love for you, Rachel, I'd have been gone 14 years ago because I didn't want Leah. Thank God for Leah, right? And her son Judah. All the rest now, hey, y'all relatives, but I'm just saying. I'd have been out. I'd have been, oh, hell no. Oh, ho, ho, ho. First time he lied to me the first 7 years. I'd have packed my stuff up and left. First time he changed my wages on me, I'd have got up and left. So now I'm leaving your father's house before we read verse 6. I'm leaving your father's house, and you my wives now, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, and I know you Laban's daughters. But who the Bible says, forget your mama and your father, cleave unto your husband and your wife. What you gonna do? Verse 6 says, and you know that with all my power I have served your father to the best of my faith's ability. I didn't let the lies, I didn't let the deception, I didn't let any of that. And we talking, this is Jacob, the father of the 12, the grandson of Abraham, being treated like this early on in the Bible. So you know how they treating us today. I'm just saying. He says, nah, y'all got to make a decision. 7, and your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me, because if it wasn't for God, your dad probably would have killed me, took all my labor, took all my substances, all my wages he paid me over the 14 years, and took you two girls back and did this with another man for another 14, 20 years. He'd have been pawning and pimping y'all off for the rest of y'all life if it wasn't for God sparing me here. You understand how this play out, man? Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, y'all. So basically, he's saying, look, we can't have all of this, okay? We can't have all of this. Now, your dad did me wrong. Point blank, period. If it wasn't for God, I don't know where I would be. Now, let's see. Verse 8 says, if he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckle. And if he said thus, the ring strake shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring strake. He told him to get the speckled ones, and it just so happened it was more speckled than not, okay? Jacob knew what the heck he was doing. His name ain't Jacob for no reason. They say it means trickster, right? So basically now, verse 9, thus God have taken away the cattle of your father, given them to me. 10, and it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring streaked, speckled, and grizzled. They were streaked and gray spotted. 11. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here I am. Don't cash down, got a song hit, bitch. Here I am. Here I am. All right. Jacob, like, here I am. Okay. Now it goes on to say 12, and he said, lift up now thine eyes and see, and all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. This is what the Lord is saying to Jacob. While your enemy is doing this to y'all, why can't we hear God saying and protecting and keeping us? As in the days of Jacob, right? Because Jacob didn't give up on God like many people here in America have. Okay? Jacob wasn't deceived to plead the blood of Jesus like his descendants are here in America and abroad, right? 13, he kept his relationship with who? I am that I am, right? So now it goes on to say 13, I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vows the vow, and unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. 14, and Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house? And that's all people is worried about, is an inheritance, is a portion, is. Okay? That everybody just want to know about their inheritance. But what I want to ask the Christian church again, how is it that you have the Abraham covenant and the blessing in the church, but yet you teach in church to do away with the circumcision, but the circumcision is the covenant of Abraham, which brought about him the inheritance. Now, I'm not a Bible scholar. I ain't go to Bible school, but I'm not stupid. I didn't spend thousands of dollars trying to get this. Flesh and blood can't reveal this kind of stuff to you. What I'm saying is, how do you have the covenant of Abraham in church when, one, y'all don't want to admit to being the children of Israel, who he was forefather of. Number two, his inheritance was based on all the male children being circumcised, something Paul teaches y'all not to do in Christianity. Although most black people in church do it, but y'all is taught to do away with the circumcision and the law of God. So how can you reach back old covenant and assume and obtain and be in possession of this when it wasn't even rightfully so yours in the beginning? Because remember, God told Esau and Jacob, Rebecca, Becky with the good hair, Isaac's wife, that you got two nations in your belly. You're having twins, two different sets of people, period. The elder is going to serve the younger. And it said Esau came out first. Is he not the elder? So why the hell he ain't serving Jacob, us the younger? Y'all can't play with this Bible when it comes to me, okay? We're not going to sit here and pretend anymore. This book is saying something totally different than what we chose to believe all these years later, based on what the early people in the church, Paul, his teachings, pastors, have taught us, the people in the pulpit. And one day I said, God, this ain't making sense. Now it is. Now it is. Verse 15, are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us. Hell, your dad sold you. Look at this. You got daddies selling their daughters in the Bible, but nobody want to talk about that. Everybody want to make this Bible look like it's holier than thou. These were people God was dealing with. And it's about as holy as you gonna get. Laban deceiving Jacob. Rachel and Leah worried about their inheritance now that they dad done sold them to Jacob. They like, Jacob, hold on, baby. If we ain't got no inheritance with dad, where's our inheritance at? And see, this is the problem. Everybody wants to be blessed, but nobody want to crucify the flesh. I'm not stealing Mark for Deathline. He said everybody want to go to heaven, nobody want to die. Everybody want to be blessed, but they don't want to crucify the flesh, right? So 15 says, and are we not counted of him strangers? Hell, if he's selling you off, was he ever your daddy? That kind of strange to me. For he have sold us and have quite devoured also our money. I bet he did. He took all your money and gave it basically to Jacob. Oh, lazy ass. He wanted Jacob to work for him for y'all. Jacob said, hey, I did my part. God told me to go back to my kindred land. I'm done with your daddy. And if y'all my wives, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, y'all better figure it out. Because when I say how you say it when you want giddy up, want them horses and camels to start traveling. You can stay here with your broke daddy, lying, deceiving daddy if you want to, who sold you off to me, but I'm out of here. That's what I think Jacob should have said in this story. I'm out of here. I don't know what you're going to do with your daddy. My daddy ain't sell me off, baby. He might have sent me to damn Becky with the good hair house to get wives, but like God said, your daddy ain't hurt me. God is with me, and I'm moving on. I'm past this. I'm moving on. So Jacob says, they say in 16, for all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Whatever. 17, then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. 18, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Pandam Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. 19, and Laban went to shear his sheep. And Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. God have mercy. A bunch of thieves and liars and deceivers, baby. You ain't do nothing worse than these people in the Bible. If God still chose to deal with these liars, thieves, stealers, killers, and destroyers, baby, how much more is he going to deal with you? These are stories to learn from. Don't do what these people did, ancestors or not. Everybody got to carry their own cross to bear or whatever, but hell, I'm not bearing nobody cross attached to all this right here going on. Men selling their daughters, people being greedy for the inheritance. Nah, it don't seem like these people are really humble right here, except for Jacob, because he admitted to God being with him. And he says, but God suffered him not to hurt me, telling his wives that God suffered your father not to hurt me. Don't you think at some point in time here in America, God can suffer the American government not to hurt you? I said God. I didn't say the blood of Jesus. I said God can suffer the enemy not to hurt you. And he can make them your footstool and prepare a table in the presence of your enemies and all that other good stuff. Make your enemy bless you like he just did with Laban unto Jacob. And that's the only time I'll be in the presence of the enemy, is if the Lord is making him my footstool or making her my footstool, preparing a table in the presence of my enemies and using my enemies to bless me. So 18 says, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Pandam Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. 19, and Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. The apple don't fall far from the tree you stole from Jacob for 14, 20 some odd years. Hell, she only coming back to get what's rightfully hers. You done sold her off. Why? Hell, let her sell, give her birthrights, give her all that. Well, Rachel was the youngest daughter. Give her what's rightfully hers and let her go. 20 says, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. What? 20, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. He told him he didn't flee when he fled, when he got his wife and his camels and his sons and everybody on the wagon and about to go across the prairie land. 21 says, so he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face against the Mount Gilead. 22. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. So he told Laban, I wasn't going to flee, but then in the middle of the night, what's that song? Steal away. He stole away from Laban, huh? So it goes on to say, 23. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after them 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in Mount Gilead. 24. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, now Syria was one of our biggest enemies. So why did Isaac take Becky with the good hair, who's a Syrian? Why did Becky with the good hair and Isaac tell Jacob to go find wives at Becky with the good hair brother's house, Laban? They're Syrians. I'd rather you marry an Egyptian. Now, I'm not being, but this Bible says Syria, Assyria, Persia, all of that fought against us more than Egypt did. Although we had some battles with Egypt, it says Syria, the Syrians and Assyria was one of our greatest enemies. So why would you go marry in the camp of the enemy, Jacob? And then you had all these kids you had Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah, and Hagar. No, that's Abraham is Hagar, and Keturah and Sarah. But Jacob got 4 right here. And they all had a baby by him. So now it goes on to say, 22, and as it was told Laban on the third day, Jacob fled. In 23, he flees after him for 7 days. 24, God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. Don't even mention him. Don't even say nothing to him. Don't even conversate with him. 25, then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban was his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. 26. And Laban said to Jacob, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me? How you going to steal away in the night? Steal away? How you going to steal away in the night and don't think I don't know? I'm coming for you, Jacob. Now I got you. How you going to steal away, stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword? You sold your daughters, honey. Now they're captive. All right, y'all. I got to take a run. I got to make a quick run. I got a phone call, and I do have to go. I can honestly leave it playing, so because there is people walking past, cars pulling up and all that stuff, and y'all can have a view, but I do have to run. Let me try and get done with a little bit more of this. And I knew a minute I sat down to do the read, I was gonna get the phone call. It never fails, y'all. So 27, wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth and with songs and tambourines and with harps? I would have gave you a going away party. He's saying, 28, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast none now done foolishly in so doing. I couldn't say bye to my family before you stole them away. 29, it is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And what is he doing? Talking to Jacob, right? So let's see how this unfolds. 30. And now though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore lodgest against thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? He got little g gods. What gods was stolen, right? like the Christians done stole the Messiah and the God of Old Covenant. 31. Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldest take by force the daughters from me. I ain't want you to take my wives. I worked for my wives. You hear me? And I don't want you taking my wives from me. So 30, and now though thou wouldest needs be gone, because the sword longest after the father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? 31, and Jacob answered and said unto Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure, thou wouldest take by force the daughters from me. Am I able to put this on pause? Oh, I don't think so. Why can't we pause this? Anyway, 32 says, with whomsoever thou findest the gods, let him not live. Before our brethren, discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. He think he think it's freaking Jacob that stole it, right? So I'm gonna read three more verses, and then I gotta run out. Okay. 33, and Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. 34. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. 35. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee. For the custom of women is to be upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. She's probably saying, don't touch me, because the custom of a woman, I got my period, Dad. I'm menstruating. Don't touch me. I can't get up. I got to sit here. And all the while, he trying to look for the dang on, the gods. He trying to look for the gods. Yeah, he's trying to look for the gods. So 35. And she said to her father, let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee. For the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. 36. And Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? Basically, what have I done? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? What did I do? Right? So, guys, that is verse 36. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go ahead and leave my thing up so I don't have to start another live. I'm going to let it run. I'm going to go ahead and run out real quick, and I shall return. I do apologize. Things happen. Things happen, y'all. I do apologize. And I'm going to have to pick up on 31, verse 37. And I couldn't even get through the first chapter. All right, guys. I will be right back. Matter of fact, let me play some music until I come back. Oh, let me see. Hold on, y'all. What in the heck? 1 second. File Explorer. I'm gonna try to put this on why. Alright, here we go. Where's music? Music? Hold on, guys. I gotta run out, so bear with me. We gonna go ahead and let's download that. Alright, y'all, so bear with me. Why isn't it? Come on, this is wasting a lot of time. I could have just shut it off. Alright, yep. Let's stop this one. This is the one we want, but I want it on repeat, y'all. There's no repeat. Oh, I want repeat on. There we go. It should repeat itself. I should be right back, guys. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, I'll be right back. Can you see me? Hi, I'm back. Let me heat up my coffee. We are going to pick up on verse 37. Oh, it's cold out there. My God. Freezing. Alright, so. Ow. Ow. Charlie, you bit me. Y'all remember that commercial? Alright, y'all, hold on. I'm heating up my coffee and I'll be right over there. Hold on, y'all, I'll be right there. Oh my God. And they say the cold killed COVID. Well, why is it on the rise? It's cold as it is out there, right? Hold on, y'all. I love this song. It's so pretty. left off with Laban pretty much being upset. Alright, hold on. So, my hands are trying to warm up, y'all. It's really cold out here. Alright, so here we go. Laban and Jacob. Laban, oh, let me get my coffee, y'all. Hold on. Laban and Jacob going to war. But I remember I left off telling y'all that God told Laban not to talk to him. So what do you think? What do you think, huh? Hey, y'all, I'm back. Welcome back. Let me see. Now, where am I? All right, let's let this play out. We got about 24 5 seconds. Hey, let that play out. Boom, boom, boom. Boo, boo, boo. All right, shalom, y'all, and welcome back to ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ears stay. I had to go out for a minute, guys. I am back. Back. Whew, God have mercy. It's cold out there. All right, so can y'all see that? No, you can't. Huh? You can't. Yeah, I don't know why you can't see it. It's dark right there. But it says world's greatest mom. Hey, y'all. So we're going to pick right back up on 37. Genesis 31:37. Let's read. And I do apologize for the intermission, but I had to run out. Okay, guys? Your girl had to run out. And now I'm back. And with that being said, Genesis chapter 31, verse 37, let's read. Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. Like, what did y'all steal from me? 38. This 20 years I have been with thee. I told you it was about 20 years. It was 7 for each wife, and then an extra 6 years. Go figure. Just because, right? So Jacob is saying, this 20 years and 38 have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. 39. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. 40. Thus I was in the day of drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. 41. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle. Whoa! And thou hast changed my wages 10 times. See, we don't tell you no lie over here. This is all Bible tea y'all should be sipping on daily, right? 42. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God have seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesterday night. See, he says, God has rebuked you. He saw my affliction. He heard my cry, Laban. And he spoke to you yesterday and rebuked you and told you not to talk to me. 43, and Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne? He said, these my children. I just used you to get a flock and a fleece and a harem full of people, okay? But these are mine, Jacob. And Jacob is like, nah, I worked for this. I labored 20 years for this. I've been afflicted 20 years dealing with you, Laban. 44 says, now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, and I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. 45, and Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. You reckon it's the one they stole from him yesterday? Because this the second time Jacob then set up a pillar, right? With a stone, right? The stone of scone. Go, baby. Go Google that stuff up if you don't mind, okay? Go Google that right on up. So now, 46 says, and Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones, and they took stones, and make an heap, and they did eat thereupon the heap. 47, and Laban called it Jegar Sahadu. Hold on. Jegar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. 48, and Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was thy name of it called Gilead. Let's just call it Gilead, okay? 49, from Mizpah, for he said, the Lord watched between me and thee, when we were absent one from another. 50, if thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. 51, and Laban said unto Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. 52, this heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. Now, y'all could pass over, but if it's for harm, I suggest you don't do it, right? 53, the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob swear by the fear of his father Isaac. 54, then Jacob offered sacrifices upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. 55, and the last verse of 31. And early in the morning Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place. Going right into chapter 32, verse 1. Let's read. And we have 32. That's the perfect chapter. Chapter 32, 32 verses. So far we read 55. Now we're reading 32. So basically that's 87 Bible verses for chapter 31 and 32. If you guys want to donate $1 or Bible verse, by all means, feel free to do so. And my Cash App is ReligionWinked TV at Cash App, right? And then if you guys want to go ahead and throw in another 20 for verse 33, I believe that's 107 Bible verses for today's read. If you guys want to donate $107 for the Bible verses that we're reading today, $1 a Bible verse, by all means, thank you and God bless you. Now, chapter 32, verse 1 says, and Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. 2, and when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Mahanaim. 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. Now he's sending his message because Jacob know his brother is vexed to kill him. So he's trying to make peace, I believe. So 4, and he commanded them, saying, Thus ye shall speak unto my lord Esau. The servant Jacob saith this, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. 5, and I have oxen and asses and flocks and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in their sight. I forgive you for wanting to kill me. I ask you for forgiveness for tricking you and lying to you, basically. 6 says, and the messengers turned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also thy cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. Why he bringing such a deep camp, right? So 7 says, Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and herds, and the camels into 2 bands. So if he come up and try to attack one, at least some of the people could get away, maybe. Or he don't think everybody is together, maybe. So 8 says, and said, If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. My thoughts exactly, right? And then Jacob's seed will be, still in the land, right? 9, and Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which said it unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. 10, I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shewed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 bands. Well, nobody really told you to do that, Jacob. You chose to become 2 bands because you're afraid of your brother Esau. All right? And it's it makes sense. If he attacks one band, the other people can kind of flee, like you said. Verse 11, Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he shall come and smite me, and the mother with the children. 12, And thou saidst, I surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. 13, And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother. 14, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. 15, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 foals, donkeys. 16, And he delivered them into the hand of his servant. Every drove by themselves, and said unto his servant, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And we have 16 chapters to go in verse 32. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou? And whither goest thou? And whose are these before thee? 18, Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto the Lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. 19, And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, On this manner shall we speak unto Esau, when ye find him. 20, And say ye moreover, Behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth forth before me. that goest forth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure, he will accept of me. He will accept my face. 21. And went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company, in the camp. 22, and we have 10 to go in verse 32. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. 23, and he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. Now, this is the angel of the Lord here, guys. 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. I know you're the man of God. You just, you messed with my groin, baby. And I know you're the man of God. And I'm not letting you go until you bless me. I'm not letting you go, God, until you bless me. I'm not letting you go until you bless me. And he goes on to say in 27, and he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. 28, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. That's why Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israel. Power with God and with men, and he has prevailed. 29, and Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore it is that thou dost ask after my name. And he blessed him there, not even knowing his name, right? And this is the place where Jacob, one place he called Bethel, and this place he's calling Peniel. The pineal gland, Peniel, the third eye. Anyway, 30 says, and Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Verse 31, and as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. See, pineal, the first time I said it, is spelled more closely to the pineal gland, up in your head, the third eye gland up there, right? And then they changed the spelling right underneath that to make it spell. It says Penuel. Very clever. 32. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. This is why we're not supposed to eat certain things, guys. And it just says the sinew, the muscle, the socket, the hip of any animal, I guess. I do believe. The shrank. What is the shrink? Do you mind if I look it up real quick for you guys? Shrink. What is shrink? Let me go here. Hold on, guys. SHRANK. Oh, not shrinkle. And there's somebody on Twitter with that. Become or make smaller in the size amount. No, we want shrink, not shrink. Past tense. Okay. Shrink is past tense for shrink. Become or make smaller in size or amount. The workforce has shrunk to less than 1,000. Move back or away, especially because of fear or disgust. She shrank away from him, covering her face. All right. What is meat shrink? Here we go. Shrink is past tense of shrink. Okay, so it's the same thing, but it's in relations to meat, okay? So let's go ahead and conquer 33, chapter 1. Let's read. And we only have 20 verses to go, all right, guys? 20 to go. Are you ready? Let's read. 33, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. 2, and he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. He like, I'm putting y'all handmaids first. Then I'm going to put, Rachel and Leah after y'all, right? But I'm going to put Rachel last because Rachel has Joseph and Benjamin for him, right? I do believe. All right, so it goes on to say in verse 3, and he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. 4, and Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. As they should. They're brothers. I mean, there's been some things. One want to kill the other. One trick the other. The whole world is crazy over the blessing and the birthright today. Make up, y'all. Kiss and make up. All right? That's all you got to do. Kiss and make up. 5, and he lifted his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are those with thee? And he said, the children which God has graciously given thy servant. 6, then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. 7, and Leah also and her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. I do believe maybe Benjamin ain't born yet because I didn't really hear his name called in the lineup. But we do know he is in the lineage, right? We do know he is in the lineup, right? We do know that, right? Absolutely. So it goes on to say, 8, and he said, what meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, these are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. 9, and Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast keep what you have unto yourself. 10, and Jacob said, nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at hands. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. 11, take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God had dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. Did he take it all, Jacob? What did he take? Did he end up taking it all from you again, huh? Did he end up taking it all? 12, and he said, let us take our journey and let us go, and I will go before thee. 13, and he said unto him, my Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herd with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. All the flock will die. 14, let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come into my Lord unto Seir. Verse 15, and Esau said, let me now leave with thee some of the folks that are with thee. And he said, what needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. 16, so Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. 17, and Jacob sojourned to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore, the name of this place is called Succoth. 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 18. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padamaram, and pitched his tent before the city. 19. And he bought a parcel of field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. For 100 pieces of money. We don't know what the value of the money was, but we know it was 100 pieces, right? That doesn't mean it totaled $100. You know what I'm saying? 20. In the last verse of the morning read, and he erected there an altar and called it, y'all ready for this? El Elohi Israel. El Elohi Israel. Oh, El Elo, like Elohim, El Elo, he is Rael. He is Rael. He, they say Is Isis, Ra is Ra, and El is Elohim. I'm just saying that's what they say Israel mean, y'all. But El Elo, he Israel. And that is the morning read, y'all. We picked back up and picked up some time. And yes, we did. We did pretty good, y'all. We did pretty dang on good. What do you think? So, we have finished chapters 31 through 33 in the book of Genesis. And we have to go to the 17th to be done with chapter 49 and 50. January 17th, we'll be done with the book of Genesis. Today is January 11th. And we have completed episode 323, y'all. I am so psyched. I am so stoked. I am so hyped up behind it all. And hopefully you guys are as well, Hopefully you guys are as well. All right, and with that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. And when the music is, so will the morning read. And I will be back with other commentary. I promise. Sometime today. Alright, so let me see. Did it download? Boo, boo, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. So Jacob and Esau finally made up for the time being, I do believe. I don't think it lasts forever because of the way the world is today. Esau, according to Psalms 83, Lot and some other people got together and came up against God and his people, okay? Do we agree? And if not, you have the right to believe whatever it is you want to believe. Just stop believing the lies, okay? Now and then. So you're watching ReligionWinked TV and my spiritual ears. Stay! Shalom, everybody, and God bless. Peace. All right, I got that one down. Shalom to the one person in the chat. Have a good day, and I'll catch you on the next live upload and or premiere. If you're new here and like these kind of teachings, these Bible talks we be having on a day-to-day basis, please subscribe. If you're returning, please subscribe. Sometimes you guys forget. Thanks for the engagement. I do appreciate everybody liking and commenting on my stuff, but I need you guys to subscribe. Share these videos. Some very valuable information in the Bible. We can sip on all the tea we can. As long as we look out in the world and can pinpoint what's going on today based off of what we read, I think that's the real blessing. Trust me. And with that being said, you guys, I gotta go. Have a good day. Look out for a video called "O Ye of Little Faith." I'm gonna go ahead and upload that right after this. And it's basically about Israel taking a leap of faith. And wait till you see what it is. My God. It seems like the people of God are now putting all their trust in mankind, looking for a savior, looking for somebody to get them out of the situations that the men of this world put them in. Can you feel me? You feeling my spirit on that? Anyway, gotta go, guys. Shalom, y'all. Have a good day. Thank you for listening and participating. I mean, you have a right to comment on anything you want to comment over here. We all have a right to believe what we want to believe. I believe God has given me a gift in these last days just to read the Bible and make some sense of it. But historically, not for a savior, not for salvation, not to be holy and all that stuff. No. To know what happened in this world, because I've been telling y'all, mostly everything is based off of what happened in this Bible. And that's something I can't, at this point, get the Christians to see. One day I will. I will never cast my pearls upon the swine, but there's just some people in this world that don't know they a pig. So you got to keep casting your pearls out there, and hopefully eventually they won't fall on deaf ears, but on those ears that have ears to hear what thus saith the Lord. Now I gotta go. And when I gotta go, two people want to show up. Hey y'all, what's up? Have a good day, guys. I'm gonna come back later on and talk about some things. I promise I'll leave my Bible home. I won't bring my Bible. But I do want to talk about some things that made my spiritual ear ring and just give a little commentary on it, respectfully. So for the two people, please thumbs up this video. Subscribe if you haven't. Share these teachings, because Jacob in this Bible getting it on and popping right about now, y'all. And it got a little messy between him and Laban, and him and his two wives, and then his two wives' handmaids. Jacob got 12 children by 4 different women. No, he got more than 12. But the 12 tribes of Israel are all not from the same woman. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? One of his wives did like Sarah and said, "Oh, this is Leah. I can't have no babies. Go have with my maid Zilpah or Bilhah, whichever one had one, because Rachel had one, Leah had another one. And Leah couldn't have babies, so she said, Jacob, go into my handmaid." And with that being said, y'all, I'm going to leave it right there, because I gave my commentary on all that, because it goes on in the world today. Men get with women who can't have children. Women get with men knowing they can't have children. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I want a baby. Well, go sleep with my sister. Or go ahead and get you a surrogate. And then, believe you me, on the outside, it looked like it's all good. But just like Sarah, she despised Hagar. And I'm sure women who are out here doing the same thing despise their spouses, children, or mothers as well. Nothing new under the sun. Shout out to y'all. God bless you. Have a great day. Peace, everybody. We'll get there one day. Until then, don't you give up on God. Don't you give up on God. When Laban had Jacob, the father of the 12, hostage for damn near 20 years, he made him work 7 years for Leah. He thought it was Rachel, but he gave him Leah. Then he worked another 7 years for Rachel and another 6 years for cattle. A total of 20 years. Jacob was afflicted by Laban, Isaac's brother. Isaac's wife, Rebecca's brother. Wait a minute. Jacob's mother's brother. All right. So, yeah. And even in his affliction, he came out stronger than the enemy. So, with that being said, shalom, everybody. God bless you and have a great day.